guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Miss Nani here. If you're new to this channel, do well to subscribe and join the family. And if you're already a member, you know how it's you. You're still welcome. Today's topic is a very interesting topic, and to be frank with you guys, it came to me as a surprise. I recently put up a poll on Instagram to let my followers give me suggestions and ideas on what content to put up for my next video. A variety of ideas came up, so many for me to choose from, and surprisingly, mental health and sex were most occurring. And I thought it's okay to put these two issues up in a poll again. Yes, so it came out that mental health was most voted for in the poll. And this amounts to today's video. I am going to talk about mental health and matters related to mental health. Me saying it came to me as a surprise is because for some time now, or here in Ghana, when sex or matters related to sex comes up, we find the youth and teenage age and then adolescents find it more interesting it as compared to other issues. And it's not surprising at all when they are so much interested in sex, because they also get to know more about their body and everything. But this time round, they showed much concern to mental health, and it shows us that there are lots of people battling things inside and find it very difficult to bring it out to be addressed. I can say that more than 50% of Ghanaians, or across the world, more than 50% of suicidal cases result from issues with mental health, be it depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders, personality disorders, phobias, and so many to mention. But I can see that in as much as the media, yes, TV stations, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, issues related to mental health come up, but how they are addressed is the issue. I always, or let me say, the media and then people in high places who are experts in mental health and its problems do very well in addressing it with the media and talking about it and helping people out of it through counseling and everything. But in as much as they are doing their part, people still find it difficult opening up and talking about their depression, anxiety, and all the issues they have inside. Well, you should know that whether you are suffering from a mental illness or not, your mental and emotional health can fluctuate from time to time depending on the stresses in your immediate and then your far environment. So, with this being said, I'm going to talk about 10 signs of which you can know if your mental health is getting worse or not. So I may not talk about everything related to it or everything you would want to hear, but the little I will talk about, I hope to get to many and help many realize their mental state and how healthy their mind is. So without wasting my time, let's get into the video. So one thing we should put at the back of our minds is that mental illness can affect anyone at all. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you have high scores in class or not, whether you are whoever you are, mental illness can arrest you. You can either face depression, anxiety, you can have a phobia, a personality disorder, and so many. Yes. And also, mental health simply talks about how we think, how we act, and how we feel. According to my research, more than 45% of teenagers alone suffer from a mental illness or disorder, and 1 out of 5 people suffer from a severe mental illness. So this should tell you that it is on the rise, yes, here in Ghana. Mental illnesses are brain dysfunctions, or let's say brain function disorders, that have many causes and mostly results from how the body reacts to the environment it finds itself in. So how the genes react to its environment. So for the first one, you should know that mental illness makes the things you do in life very hard. It makes your normal activities you do in the day, such as going to work, going for lectures, going to school, using your phone, texting, all these normal things, it makes it difficult to do because you are depressed, you're in a depressed state, you are anxious, you are afraid to do it, the phobias, yeah. And examples of the phobias we have fear of being in closed places, fear of being alone, fear of heights, yeah, those are the phobias. So mental illness makes these things very difficult to pursue or very difficult to do. Sometimes a depressed mood is normal. Maybe you are tired from class, maybe small broken heart, maybe you're facing financial crisis, maybe you might have lost a loved one or failed an exam or just something to get in the way, and then you end up being depressed or anxious. It's normal. But if this depression starts to cause distress or it gets in the way of your normal daily activities, then you should seek professional care. Early identification and effective treatment of these mental illnesses prevents future disabilities. Yes, as you see, people on the streets, people in restraints in the hospitals, quote and unquote, they are called mad people, but they all started from being depressed, phobias, anxiety, bipolar, and all that, and they ended up there. So, early treatment of these things, or early treatment of mental illness, may prevent future disabilities. For the second one, it says you get overwhelmed easily. You easily get overwhelmed with situations. Maybe you are given a task where just two lists or two tasks to perform by the end of the day. But because you feel overwhelmed, you see the tasks to be 10 different things or more. And that is where we say someone is overwhelmed with something. In this case, you feel pressured to do it and then you end up not doing it at all. So maybe you have to read this book by the end of the day, but you see the book to be like so voluminous that you are not able to start, let alone finish. This is where you see that your mental health is getting worse, and you can help yourself by journaling, writing in a journal, or meditating, or practicing mindfulness. Yes, and then it can help you in your own way, or you can still see a trusted friend or a professional health worker. And the third one is you don't feel like socializing that much more. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, it feels so exhausting to interact with people so much that you always want to be alone at that corner. We all have a standard comfort level when it comes to socializing. So if you find yourself meeting the less part of that standard, then you should see that your mental health is not in a good state. Yes, and you should check yourself up, or you should see a health worker, a trusted friend, or a family member. For the fourth point, it says you don't have a consistent sleep schedule. You not being able to wake up early, not being able to sleep on time, not being able to, do all that, and you end up sleeping the whole day. It shows that there's an increased stress in your life and a decline in your mental health. So, if you're struggling with how to regulate your sleep, you can try a steady up routine. You can try to set alarms and all that to see if you can help yourself in a little you can, and you can get back to your normal self. But if you're not able to do that at all, then you should seek help immediately. For the fifth point, you always feel drained. Despite getting enough sleep, enough rest, despite your meditations and all that, you end up getting so drained and exhausted. Have you ever asked yourself why? According to research, mental exhaustion can set in when you're under long term stress. Yes. And in this state, you end up not getting things done. So, the little you can try to do to help yourself is by getting enough rest. Getting enough rest so that you can get a healthy mind, a healthy mental state. Yes. So, if you're not able to get enough sleep and you end up getting drained, and may show that your mental health is getting worse. So you should seek help immediately. Also, anxiety seems to be increasing. Do you wake up in the morning with a high sense of anxiety that stays with you all day? Like, in as much as you are prepared to do something, a presentation or something, you may be relaxed the day before, but you just wake up anxious with no reason. This always shadows your activities for the day and keeps you from doing things you want to do. You should know that anxiety happens to everyone, but as I said with the depression in the first point, if this anxiety keeps bringing you distress or affecting your activities of daily living, then you should know that it's a sign that your mental health is getting worse. And some of the responses to anxiety are your heart rate increases and you keep breathing faster than usual. That is where you see that you are anxious. So in this case, if it can't be if nothing can be done about it, you should know that your mental health is getting worse and you need help. Also, you feel mentally and emotionally scattered. Is there a case where you feel that there are so many things happening around you and then you don't even know which one to tackle first? From time to time, it's normal to feel pressured. It's normal for your environment to gang up on you. But in the same way, if it's becoming too much, or if it's happening from time to time, or if you can't control it, that means your mental health is getting worse and you need to seek help immediately. And for the eighth point, you can't seem to pay attention to things. For example, if you're a student, maybe you used to pay attention in class, you sit in front, be able to grasp what the lecturer teaches or the teacher gives, and you're able to read over and capture everything within one time. But now you don't seem to understand anything that is taught or anything that you read, and you keep reading and reading and reading and reading again, and you ask yourself why. This is a big sign that your mental health is getting worse. Maybe you are overthinking, or maybe you are going through too much stress that your body can't handle, and you need to tackle it fast so that it doesn't lead to future disabilities. For the ninth point, or for the last but one, you might be struggling with your impulse control. Are you acting more on impulse and are you doing things you don't really love to do or you shouldn't do? Maybe you are playing games for long hours, you are buying things you don't need, and other impulse activities. But you know, with all these, you end up picking activities that may be harmful to you or activities that are unhealthy. Yes. So with this, you should know that your mental health is getting worse and you need help immediately because fine, we all have impulse control, you know, difficulties in some way somehow. But if it gets in your way of, living normally, then you should know that your mental health is getting worse and you need help. And for the last point, you find yourself always struggling to be grounded. Being grounded means to feel secure, to feel confident, and to feel good about yourself. But most of the time, when you find yourself struggling to feel grounded, or struggling with your self confidence, or struggling to feel secure about yourself, then your mental health is getting worse and you need to seek help immediately. So, guys, if you can relate to this video, or if you find your mental health slipping, you should always know that there's help out there. You should always try to seek help. Keeping it to yourself can kill you slowly and kill any suicidal thoughts that may come your way. You can talk to a trusted friend, a family member, or a health professional, be it a nurse, a pharmacist, a psychologist, a doctor, whoever you seem comfortable with. You can talk about the issue. Yes. So that will be all for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share it across as many platforms as you can. So till my next video, it's bye for now.